Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to sublimate notebooks. I have one holographic notebook and I have a glitter notebook. They're both from the dollar store, $1 each. I've also done on the blue, which comes out really fantastic if you have the right design. So today I'm just going to show you for comparison this image on a holographic and one on a glitter. So what I like to do with these is I leave the bottom edge completely flat to line it up, and then cut around the top and the sides so that when I place it on my notebook cover, oh, I didn't turn that on. When I place it on my notebook cover, I have a flat edge to align the design with. Otherwise, I personally have a habit of always having things askew. So when you align it, I'm aligning this bottom edge of the paper with the bottom edge of the notebook. And then I move it back and forth according to that to make sure that the entire design fits on. And you always have to take into account for these holes. So you gotta watch that and make sure your design does not go over those holes. So I think I have it pretty well aligned right there. I'm gonna move it over just a little. And I take some heat tape. This is actually heat tape from Michael's with the new Cricut stuff that they came out with. The infusible ink. I need two hands for this. I was in desperate need and didn't have time to wait for Amazon to ship tape to me, so I decided to try this out, and it is actually pretty good. So I just tape the bottom edge like that, make sure that stays, check my holes, and I like to have a little piece of tape on each part where it connects with the notebook. And then just putting look how tiny, little tiny piece of tape. I'm not covering the entire edges with it. I'm just putting a little bit of tape so that I don't get any shifting or ghosting, as it's called, when I lift up my heat press. And I have, so this was the holographic, and I've already taped down my glitter. And I have a little notebook of all of the things that I've done and the temperatures, because my particular heat press, it runs a little bit hot. So where people are sublimating at 400 degrees for 60 seconds, my heat press really likes around 370 or 380. So I do have a bit of trial and error with my heat press. But I have found that 360 degrees at around 50 to 52 seconds with medium to light pressure for notebooks works for my heat press. And if you notice, so this is my platen that it came with this foam mat, otherwise it's just metal. Mine came with this foam mat, which is nice, but then I always put some parchment paper over it to protect it, make sure I don't get any ink or glue or anything on my foam. And I've seen people take the coils out. I don't have time in my life to undo all these coils and put them back in for every single notebook I do. I do a lot of these notebooks. I have 2 kids, all their friends want them, they want them. I can't do it. So my image, where's the other one? My images do not go to the edge. I don't do a full coverage. But a little tip while we're waiting for this to warm up, a little tip that I always have a hard time getting close to it, even with the coils out of the heat press. this is my hair straightener. I take my hair straightener with the paper on top of it, the little spot that I missed, I just bring it up. It's not on right now. I bring it up and I just press it for maybe 15-20 seconds in that one little spot, and it's good to go. It just needed a little bit more heat and a little more pressure, but I do press it down, so like I'll press it like this. Okay, so we're just gonna, here, I'll show you. Right now, I have it set to 360 and it's at 222. So when this gets hot enough, we'll come right back. Okay, my heat press is just about warmed up. It's at 358. We're looking for 360. So I'm gonna move that over. And I have my parchment paper down. First, I'm gonna do the holographic notebook. Also, I have on hand a big, heavy book that when I take it out and I peel the paper away, it does have a tendency, especially the holographic ones, to warp a little bit. So I'm gonna put this right on it for a couple of seconds until it cools, and it should take that away. So I'm only going to put in the cover. I'm gonna leave these coils just outside of the heat press. Put my parchment paper on top, and I like to hold this up and hold this end of the notebook up. So again, it's the back cover and all of the pages that are outside of the press. By holding it up, it decreases the bend that it'll get. So I have it just outside. Bring my heat press around, carefully on medium to light pressure. Carefully place this down. Again, making sure the coils are completely out. And I have it set for 52 seconds. So I have my hand holding the back up, and I can feel these coils. Even though they're not underneath, I can feel them getting hot. So you want to be careful and not touch them. So my kids absolutely love these new finds from the dollar store. They get to put their names on everything, and they get to pick out the pictures that they want. So that's a lot of fun for them, being able to customize all of their school supplies without just writing things in Sharpie. It's a good advertisement also. A lot of their friends have been asking for customized notebooks, and then, you know, of course it trickles to the parents, and they're like, oh, can you do this and can you do that? So creating things for your kids can be lucrative in the long run. And I gently lift up. There we go, 52 seconds. And they move that over. Hot, hot. Keep that off and on this side. And now I'm going to, whoop, very hot. I should have gloves, but I have not gotten them yet. So now I'm just going to peel this off. Oh, sticky tape. I'm trying not to pull too hard. I don't want to rip the cover. And I think that came out beautiful. And actually it barely warped. I'm just gonna stick this book, my dog book, right on top, just for a minute. Make sure it dries, it cools nice and flat. And it doesn't get on this. And there we have it. So this is the holographic design. And I hope you can see it in the camera. Let me see. It looks fantastic in person. Very good. So now let's try the, and See how much ink it took? It was very, very vibrant, and it's almost gone now. So, by the way, I use Photoshop to print. I print with the setting of presentation matte. I do not use high speed. I use a sub paper. I have a Epson 7720, and I believe I'm using Cobra inks right now. So now we're going to do it again with the glitter notebook that I've already prepared. So same process. Put it in. Parchment on top, always. And I'm actually just reusing the same parchment paper. These notebooks are pretty resilient. Normally I tear the edges on my sublimation paper, but I found with these notebooks, they leave no press marks. So it's easier to cut, so I cut. And very gently, make sure I have all the paper covered and I'm not getting on the coils. And it probably would be easier for the camera to see if I did it this way, but I'm very much a righty, and I need my right hand to guide this, so I apologize if you can't see it. I'll try and show you an example of the placement when this is done. Okay, so we're just about 30 seconds. And you'll see the huge difference between the holographic and the glitter. They both look great, but they're both very different. My youngest son is only 7, so he loves that holographic look. My older son is going into 5th grade, and the holographic look is maybe a little too young for him, so he likes the glitter. And he loves the blue. He loves how that blue one came out. Okay, so about 5 seconds. Pull it up very gently. And peel this one off. Oh, this one came right off. Get my book. Just give that a minute. And can you see? And this is the glitter, which I absolutely love the glitter. I love how it comes out. And this is the difference between them. Let me see if you could see this in the camera. So I think they both came out wonderful. I love both of their looks. They're both very different looks. This one is definitely more vibrant. And this one is just kind of cool and shiny. So they both have their advantages for who your audience is. Oh, and see what I did? I already took this off. Good thing it's only for my son. But what I would have done is notice this little spot right here that I didn't get because it was too close to the coils. I already pulled this off. I don't think I can line this up properly. But what I would have done is checked it first. I didn't think I was that close to the coils that I needed to check. I would have taken it like this. Hopefully, yeah. I would have taken it like this before I peeled the paper off. Actually, I don't think I can now. I'm never going to get it lined up perfectly again. I would take this. This isn't on right now. Where was it? Okay, so it was this little spot right here that I missed. I would go like this and push down just for a minute, not even a minute, maybe 15 seconds, and it would, I've done this before, and it would bring all that back in. So, one final look. So, I decided to try and align this to see if I can get that part in. So I've heated up my hair straightener. I have a setting for 400 degrees. So this is, I have some hair in it still. So this is all hot and ready to go. I think it does not look like I've lined it up, but I'm gonna do the best that I can here. Luckily it is, oh, I can see that it's completely not lined up. What did I do? There. I think what happened why I didn't get that is because I didn't put a piece of tape right here. I only put here and here. So like I said, I like to put tape on all the little edges that feel like they might be going up. So I think that was my error. So I am going to use a piece of parchment over it because I don't want to burn it. I'm just going to put this right in. So this is going, here, I'll show you, underneath the cover. Might be easier this way. Where is that spot? Find that spot that I want, and I'm just pressing down for about 15 seconds. Just do a quick little check. And yeah, I didn't line it up properly, but it did work. So he's gonna have to live with it. Luckily it's just for my son. But, so yes, I didn't line it up right. I should have checked it before I pulled the paper off. But you can see that now this little section that I missed is now nice and dark, and it's right there. So I realized as I was recording, I mentioned I would show you the coils on this side, and then I forgot. So I have another one taped, ready to go. So I'm holding it up here. This is where my heat press ends. Have it covered. So the coils go just outside of the heat press. Cover it. And then when my press goes on, I just like to double check, make sure it's still outside because my hand can get a little wonky, especially this hand. And I'm gently gonna lower it on. So see, my coils, oh, my head is in the way. I'm holding it up so that it doesn't wobble with the paper. And my coils are on the outside. I have noticed that the glitter ones take about 2 seconds less. The holographic ones for me, take about 52 seconds. The glitter ones probably maybe 50 seconds. So I'm gonna pull this up just 2 seconds earlier. Same settings, but just a couple seconds earlier. So we're at 20. And my heat press has a tendency to vary about 5 degrees up or down as it's pressing. So I don't know if you saw it, it was at 355 and now it's back to 360, and that's 2. So I'm pulling it up 2 seconds early. Hot, hot, hot. And there you go. And everything got sublimated and pressed well. Then I put my book on top.